Captain Lee Minho stood on the bridge of the Soul's Pride, watching the massive space station grow larger on the screen. The Federation's central hub was impressive, with its crystal towers and glowing energy fields. But Minho felt small here, like a child visiting adults. "Captain, we're getting the docking instructions," said his communications officer. The alien voice came through the speakers, speaking in the common galactic language. It sounded bored, like humans were not worth much attention. "Thank you," Minho replied. He turned to Dr. Park Na-young, who was studying data on her tablet. "What do you think, Doctor? Another routine meeting?" Na-young looked up with worried eyes. "I hope so, Captain, but something feels different this time." The Soul's Pride was a small diplomatic ship. Humans had been part of the Galactic Federation for 50 years now, but they were considered a Class C species. That meant they were useful for simple work, like mining and basic engineering, but nothing important. The big decisions were made by advanced species like the Velkari Empire and the Zephyrians. As they docked, Minho thought about how far humanity had come. When the aliens first arrived at Earth, humans were excited to join the galactic community. They thought they would learn amazing technologies and explore the universe as equals. Instead, they found themselves treated like helpful pets. Ambassador Choi Daesung was waiting for them at the airlock. He was an older man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had spent 20 years trying to get other species to respect humans. "Captain Lee, Dr. Park, welcome to Central Hub," Daesung said with a weak smile. "I'm afraid today's meeting might be difficult." They walked through the station's corridors. Other aliens barely looked at them. The tall, blue-skinned Aquarians moved past like humans were invisible. A group of crystalline Velkari made sounds. That might have been laughter when they saw the human delegation. "What's this meeting about?" Na-young asked as they entered a conference room. "The Federation Council wants to discuss some missing species," Daesung explained. "Several planets have gone silent in the past year. They want our help investigating." The meeting room was huge, designed for species much larger than humans. Minho and his team sat in chairs that made them look like children. Around the circular table were representatives from the major galactic powers. Crystalline Prime, the Velkari speaker, began without greeting the humans. "The matter is simple. 16 primitive species have abandoned their homeworlds. We believe they may have been influenced by criminal elements." "Abandoned?" Na-young asked. "What do you mean?" "Their planets are empty," said High Energy Form 7, the Zephyrian delegate. Its voice sounded like electricity. "No life signs, no technology, nothing." Commander Kim Ji-won, the human military representative, leaned forward. "Have you investigated these worlds?" "Of course," Crystalline Prime replied with what sounded like annoyance. "Federation archaeological teams have begun studying the remains. We will learn much about these failed civilizations." Something cold moved through Minho's stomach. Failed civilizations, they might need help. Maybe there was a disaster. The aliens around the table made sounds that might have been amusement. "Captain Lee," said Fluid Mind Nexus, the Nautiloid representative. "These species showed no progress for thousands of years. Such stagnation is unfortunate." After the meeting, Na-young pulled Minho aside. "Captain, I need to tell you something. I've been studying the data on these missing species." They found a quiet corner of the station. Na-young showed him her tablet. "Look at this pattern. Each species that disappeared was classified as evolutionarily stagnant by Federation surveys." "What does that mean?" "It means the Federation decided they weren't advancing fast enough." Na-young's voice was barely a whisper. "Captain, I think they were killed." Minho felt the blood drain from his face. "That's impossible. The Federation protects all species." "Does it?" Na-young showed him more data. "Look at the archaeological teams. They arrive within days of each species going silent. They remove all technology and biological samples. Then they mark the worlds as available for development." Over the next few days, Minho couldn't stop thinking about Na-young's words. He watched how other species treated humans. The casual dismissal, the gentle mockery, the way they talked about humans like they weren't in the room. Commander Kim Ji-won requested a private meeting. They met in Minho's quarters on the ship. "Captain, I need to share classified information with you," Ji-won said. Her face was serious. "Earth intelligence has been monitoring Federation communications. And humanity is on a list." Ji-won handed him a data pad. "It's called the Evolutionary Assessment Schedule. We're marked for review in 6 months." Minho read the document. His hands began to shake. This says we're considered a potential threat due to our unpredictable emotional responses and tendency toward violence. There's more," Ji-won continued. "We intercepted a conversation between Crystalline Prime and High Energy Form 7. They were discussing the human problem. They think we're too dangerous to let develop further, but too useful to eliminate immediately." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying the Federation plans to kill us all, Captain, just like they killed those 16 other species." That night, Minho called Ambassador Daesung to his ship. They sat in the captain's cabin drinking real coffee from Earth. It was one of the few things humans were allowed to trade freely. "Ambassador, what would happen if I told you the Federation was planning genocide?" Daesung set down his cup carefully. "I would ask if you had proof." Minho showed him everything Nayoung had discovered and the intelligence Ji-won had shared. Daesung read in silence for a long time. "Captain, if this is true, then we have very little time. What can we do? We're just Class C. We have small ships, basic weapons, no real power." Daesung smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. "Captain, there are things about humanity that the Federation doesn't know, things we've kept hidden for 50 years. "What kind of things?" "The kind of things that might help us survive." Daesung stood up. "I need to send a message to Earth. A very special message." As the ambassador left, Minho stared out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 16 species had been murdered for the crime of not advancing fast enough, and soon humanity might join them. But as he looked at the peaceful lights of the Federation station, Minho wondered if the aliens had made a terrible mistake. They saw humans as primitive and weak. They had no idea what humans could do when they were afraid, when they were angry, when they had nothing left to lose. 3 days after Ambassador Daesung sent his message to Earth, Captain Lee Minho received new orders. They were simple: return home immediately. No explanations, no delays. During the journey back to Earth, strange things began happening throughout human space. Mining ships suddenly changed course. Trade vessels started moving toward unknown destinations. Construction crews abandoned their projects and disappeared. Dr. Park Nayoung spent most of the trip studying the data they had gathered. "Captain, I keep thinking about what Ambassador Daesung said. What secrets could we have?" "I don't know," Minho replied, "but I think we're about to find out." When the Soul's Pride reached Earth's orbit, Minho was shocked. The planet looked the same, but space around it was different. Ships he had never seen before moved in organized patterns. They looked like human designs, but bigger and more advanced. "Captain, we're being hailed," the communications officer reported. A new voice came through the speakers. "Soul's Pride, this is General Yoon Tae-hyung, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces. Please dock at Station 7. Station 7 had been a small research facility when Minho left. Now it was huge, with multiple docking bays and weapon platforms. As their ship approached, Minho saw something that made his heart race. The weapons weren't human designs. They looked like combinations of alien technology from different species. General Yoon was waiting for them at the airlock. He was a tall man with sharp eyes and a serious face. Behind him stood Dr. Kang Sora, a scientist Minho recognized from news reports about space exploration. "Captain Lee, Dr. Park, Commander Kim," the general said. "Welcome to the real Earth." They were taken to a briefing room deep inside the station. The walls were covered with screens showing star maps, ship designs, and alien technology schematics. "For 50 years, the galaxy has seen us as harmless," General Yoon began. "They were wrong. We let them think we were weak while we learned everything about them." Dr. Kang stepped forward. "Every human who worked on alien ships, every engineer who repaired their technology, every diplomat who visited their worlds, They were all gathering information. She activated a holographic display. It showed a massive structure hidden behind Earth's moon. Project Ghost Protocol. We've been building this for 30 years. The hologram revealed shipyards that stretched for thousands of kilometers. Hundreds of ships were under construction, each one designed to fight specific alien species. How is this possible? Nayoung asked. The Federation monitors all our activities. They monitor what we let them see, Commander Kim Ji-won answered. Every piece of technology we reverse-engineered, every weapon we developed, every tactical plan we made, it was all hidden using their own technology against them. General Yoon showed them another display. We know that Velkari crystal ships are vulnerable to specific sound frequencies. We know that Zephyrian energy beings can be disrupted by quantum field generators. We know that nautiloid bioships require certain nutrients that we can poison. You've been planning for war, Minho said. We've been planning for survival, the general corrected. And now that survival depends on showing the galaxy what humans can really do. Captain Oh Seung-wan entered the briefing room. He was young, with steady hands and quick eyes. General, the first phase is ready. Good. Captain Lee, you and your crew will witness the beginning of our response. They were taken to the command center, where dozens of humans worked at advanced control stations. The main screen showed Federation communication relays throughout the galaxy. For 50 years, we've had people working throughout Federation space, General Yoon explained. Maintenance workers, cargo handlers, service technicians. Today, they begin their real mission. At exactly 14 on Earth Standard Time, the attacks began. On the main screen, Minho watched as Federation communication nodes went dark one by one. Each attack was precise, targeting critical systems while leaving the structures intact. Phase 1. Blind them, Dr. Kang announced. Without communications, they can't coordinate their response. Captain O was piloting one of the new stealth fighters. His voice came through the speakers as he approached a major Federation relay station. Target acquired. These crystal matrix shields can't detect our phase shift technology. Minho watched in amazement as O's ship seemed to pass through the station's defenses like they weren't there. The ship fired a single beam, and the massive communication array went silent. How are you doing this? Nayoung asked. We learned from the Wraith species that the Federation destroyed 20 years ago, Dr. Kang explained. They could shift between dimensions. We figured out how to build machines that do the same thing. Across the galaxy, the pattern repeated. Human agents emerged from hiding to sabotage critical systems. Ships that had seemed like ordinary cargo vessels revealed hidden weapons. Federation forces found themselves fighting an enemy they had never seen before. The aliens' first response was confusion. Emergency channels buzzed with reports of coordinated attacks by unknown forces. The Federation Council called emergency sessions, demanding to know who was attacking them. They still don't know it's us, Commander Kim reported. Federation. Intelligence is looking for new alien threats or rebel groups. Ambassador Daesung appeared on a secure channel from Federation Central Hub. The Council is in chaos. They're convinced some new species has entered the galaxy. Crystalline Prime actually suggested that humans might be victims too. General Yoon smiled grimly. Let them think that. For now. But the attacks continued to escalate. Captain O led squadrons of stealth fighters against Federation patrol fleets. Ships that couldn't be detected struck without warning and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. Dr. Kang activated another display showing Federation territory. Red zones marked areas where alien forces had lost control. Phase 2. Confuse them. Make them fight shadows. The psychological impact was enormous. Federation species that had dominated the galaxy for centuries suddenly found themselves helpless against an enemy they couldn't see or understand. Panic spread through their ranks. General, we're receiving surrender signals from 3 Federation outposts, a technician reported. Decline them, General Yoon ordered. We're not accepting surrenders yet. Minho realized what was happening. This wasn't just a military campaign. It was a demonstration of power designed to terrify their enemies. As reports continued to pour, In Na-young asked the question that had been bothering Minho. "General, how long have you been planning this?" "Since the day the aliens arrived at Earth," he replied. "We knew that advanced civilizations don't usually share power with primitive ones. We hoped we were wrong, but we prepared for the possibility that we were right." The main screen showed Federation Council chambers, where alien representatives argued frantically. Their translator systems had been compromised so different species couldn't understand each other properly. "They're starting to blame each other," Commander Kim observed. "Crystalline Prime thinks the Zephyrians are behind the attacks. High Energy Form 7 suspects the Nautiloids. Phase 3 will begin tomorrow," General Yoon announced. "That's when they'll learn the truth." As Minho left the command center, his mind raced with everything he had seen. Humanity wasn't the weak, primitive species the galaxy thought they were. They were something much more dangerous. A species that had learned to hide their true capabilities while studying their enemies. The Federation had made a terrible mistake. They had given humans 50 years to prepare for this moment. 50 years to learn, to plan, to build, and to position themselves throughout galactic space. Now the galaxy would learn what humans could do when they stopped pretending to be harmless. Admiral Hanbora stood in the command center of the Incheon's Vengeance, watching the Federation fleet approach Earth. 300 ships from 12 different species, all coming to destroy humanity. They had no idea they were flying into a trap. "Admiral, the enemy fleet will reach Earth's orbit in 6 hours, reported Lieutenant Colonel Shin Woo-jin. "All human forces are in position," Hanbora nodded. She was a small woman with gray hair, but her eyes burned with determination. "Send the signal. Begin Phase 3. Throughout human space, hidden ships powered up their weapons. Mining stations revealed themselves as massive gun platforms. Cargo vessels dropped their fake outer hulls to show battlecruisers underneath. 50 years of preparation was about to be unleashed. Captain Lee Minho was aboard the command station, watching everything unfold. Dr. Park Na-young stood beside him, her face pale with worry and excitement. "Captain, look at this," she said, pointing to her scanner. "Earth itself is empty. Where are all the people?" "Safe," General Yoon Tae-hyung answered, joining them. 20 billion humans have been moved to hidden colonies throughout the galaxy. Earth is now a weapon. On the main screen, they could see the Federation fleet's lead ship. It was a massive Valkyrie crystal cruiser, beautiful and deadly. Its commander was probably feeling confident about destroying another primitive species. "Admiral Han, the enemy commander, is sending a surrender demand," the communications officer reported. "Put it through," Hanbora ordered. The voice that came through the speakers was cold and arrogant. "Primitive humans, you have attacked Federation territory. Surrender now and some of you may be allowed to live as servants." Hanbora smiled. "Send a reply. Tell them we decline their generous offer." The Federation fleet moved into Earth's orbit, spreading out to surround the planet. They expected to find frightened humans hiding behind weak defenses. Instead, they found something else entirely. "Now," Hanbora whispered. Space around Earth exploded with activity. Asteroid mining ships threw off their disguises and revealed themselves as heavy cruisers. Space stations that had looked peaceful suddenly bristled with weapons. Even some of the asteroids themselves were fake, hiding massive gun platforms. Engineer Lim Ha-young was working frantically at her station. "Admiral, releasing the electronic warfare packages now." The Federation ships suddenly found their systems acting strangely. Valkyrie crystal networks began resonating at dangerous frequencies, threatening to shatter their own hulls. Zephyrian energy beings discovered their forms becoming unstable as quantum disruptors interfered with their existence. "What's happening? To them?" Na-young asked. "We've been studying every species for 50 years, General Yoon explained. "We know exactly how their technology works and how to break it." Lieutenant Colonel Shin Woo-jin activated his special project. He was connected to a strange device that looked part machine, part biological. "Beginning psionic insertion, Admiral." "What's that?" Minho asked. "Humans can do something most aliens can't," Shin explained. We can interface directly with their technology. Watch. On the screen, one of the Federation ships began turning its weapons on its own allies. Then another. Within minutes, the alien fleet was shooting at itself in confusion. Impossible, breathed Na Young. How can humans control alien minds? We're not controlling minds, Shin corrected. We're talking to their machines. Most alien species think in very logical patterns. Their technology expects logical commands, but humans think in ways that can confuse their systems. Engineer Lim Hyung reported success with her virus attacks. Admiral, the nautiloid bioships are being infected with engineered parasites. Their living hulls are rejecting their own crews. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Federation forces had expected to fight primitive humans with basic weapons. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that knew their weaknesses better than they did. Admiral Han Bora watched as a Velkari crystal ship tried to flee. Captain O, intercept that cruiser. Captain O Xiongwan's stealth fighter appeared beside the massive alien ship like a ghost materializing from nothing. His weapons fired once, targeting specific crystal formations. The entire ship began to tear itself apart as its crystal matrix collapsed. The Zephyrian energy beings are trying to escape through subspace, reported a technician. Release the quantum nets, Han Bora ordered. Invisible energy fields spread through space, trapping the fleeing aliens. The Zephyrians, who existed as pure energy, found themselves caught like fish in nets they couldn't see or understand. But the most terrifying thing wasn't the weapons or the technology. It was how efficiently the humans fought. They didn't waste shots or make dramatic gestures. Every attack was precise, calculated to cause maximum damage with minimum effort. Dr. Park Na-young was studying the battle data when she made a disturbing discovery. Captain, look at this. The humans aren't trying to destroy the alien ships, they're disabling them. Why? Minho asked. General Yoon heard the question. Because we want prisoners. We want the galaxy to know exactly what happened here. As the battle continued, more Federation reinforcements arrived. But they found the same fate as the first wave. Human ships seemed to appear from nowhere, strike with devastating precision, and vanish before return fire could reach them. Admiral, the Federation Council is sending emergency signals to all species, the communications officer reported. They're calling for a general mobilization against Earth. Good, Han Bora replied. Let them come. The more that arrive, the more will learn to fear us. Lieutenant Colonel Shin Woo-jin was now connected to dozens of alien ships. Admiral, I'm reading their communications. They're calling us devils and nightmare creatures. Some species are refusing to fight anymore. Show them we can be merciful too, Han Bora decided. Allow the civilian ships to retreat, but mark them with tracking beacons. Why let them go? Asked Minho. Because, General Yoon explained, we want them to spread the word. We want every species in the galaxy to know what happens when you threaten humanity. Engineer Lim Hyung looked up from her station with a worried expression. Admiral, I'm detecting something strange. The remaining Federation ships are linking their systems together. They're trying to create some kind of collective defense. Let them try, Han Bora said calmly. Shin, can you break through their link? Already. Working on it, Admiral, Shin replied. His device was glowing brighter as he pushed deeper into the alien network. Their collective consciousness is actually making them more vulnerable. I can send feedback through their link. Suddenly, the entire remaining Federation fleet stopped moving. Every ship hung motionless in space as their crews struggled with systems that no longer obeyed them. What did you do? Na-young asked in amazement. I gave their computers a human emotion, Shin explained. Fear. Their logical systems can't process it, so they've shut down to prevent damage. Admiral Han Bora stood and looked out at the disabled Federation fleet. Send a message to all ships, tell them this. Humanity offers one chance for survival. Surrender completely, or be destroyed completely. The response came quickly. One by one, Federation ships began broadcasting surrender signals. The mighty fleet that had come to exterminate humanity was now begging for mercy. Admiral, what are your orders? Asked a technician. Hanbora was quiet for a moment, thinking about the 16 species that had been murdered by the Federation. Accept their surrender, but make it clear that this is only the beginning. Earth was just a demonstration. As Captain Minho watched the powerful alien fleet submit to human forces, he realized something had changed forever. Humanity was no longer a weak species hiding among the stars. They had become something that made the galaxy's greatest powers surrender without conditions. The reckoning had begun. Fleet Admiral Ko Dong-yuk stood aboard the massive human dreadnought Sol's Wrath, watching as entire star systems fell under human control. The Federation's surrender at Earth was just the beginning. Now humanity was showing the galaxy what real war looked like. "Admiral, the Velkari Empire has mobilized their full fleet," reported Captain Ryu Jungsu. 1,000 ships heading for the Centauri system. "How many humans do we have in that system?" Ko asked. 3 million colonists, sir. But they've already been evacuated to the hidden bases. Ko nodded. The evacuation protocols had been perfected over decades. When human civilians disappeared from a system, it meant that system was about to become a battlefield. Dr. An Minji approached the Admiral with her latest psychological warfare report. "Sir, our broadcast campaigns are working. 17 Federation species have declared neutrality. They're too afraid to fight us. What about the core species? The ones who started this genocide program? The Velkari, Zephyrians, and Nautiloids are still fighting," she replied. "But their populations are panicking. Our truth broadcasts about the extermination camps have caused massive civil unrest." Ko smiled grimly. Humanity had learned that destroying ships and planets was only one way to win a war. Destroying the enemy's will to fight was much more effective. "Admiral, incoming transmission from Captain Lee Minho," the communications officer announced. Minho's face appeared on the screen. He was aboard a reconnaissance ship near Federation space. "Admiral, the Velkari fleet is moving faster than expected. They'll reach Centauri in 18 hours. "Perfect timing," Ko replied. "Captain, I want you to witness what happens when someone threatens human civilians." The Centauri system looked empty when the Velkari fleet arrived. No human ships, no defensive platforms, no signs of resistance. The crystalline aliens probably thought the humans had run away in fear. They were wrong. Captain Ryu Jungsu was commanding a new type of human vessel, a planet killer. Not the crude kind that just blasted worlds apart, but something much more terrifying. The human ship could crack a planet's crust with surgical precision, causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that would make the world uninhabitable. "Admiral, the Velkari fleet is spreading out to search for human forces," Ryu reported. "Begin the demonstration," Ko ordered. What happened next shocked even experienced human officers. The Sol's Wrath and its escort ships didn't attack the Velkari fleet directly. Instead, they targeted the system's planets. The first planet was a gas giant with no life. Ryu's weapons sent focused gravitational pulses into its core. Within minutes, the entire planet began to collapse in on itself, creating a new gravity well that pulled in asteroids and debris. "Admiral, the Velkari are broadcasting surrender offers," reported the communications officer. "Ignore them," Ko replied coldly. "They came here to kill 3 million humans. Now they'll learn what that choice costs." The second planet was a barren rock, but it had Federation mining operations. Human weapons didn't just destroy the facilities. They turned the planet's crust into a maze of deep canyons and unstable fault lines. Dr. An Minji was monitoring alien communications. "Admiral, I'm reading massive panic throughout the Velkari fleet. Their crews are reporting that humans can break worlds and that resistance is impossible." "Good. Send a message to their fleet commander." The message was simple. "You came to destroy our homes. Watch us destroy yours." The Velkari fleet tried to retreat, but human ships had surrounded the system. Every exit was blocked by vessels that seemed to appear from empty space. The crystalline aliens found themselves trapped with an enemy that could destroy planets at will. Captain Lee Minho was watching from his reconnaissance ship, his face pale with shock. "Admiral, are we really going to destroy inhabited worlds?" Ko's voice was ice cold. Captain, the Federation has murdered 16 entire species. They plan to murder us too. The galaxy needs to understand that there are consequences for such actions. But the humans didn't target inhabited worlds. Instead, they demonstrated their power on empty planets, showing what they could do if they chose to. Each destroyed world sent a message. Humanity could exterminate entire systems if pushed far enough. The psychological impact was devastating. Across the galaxy, alien species watched the broadcasts and realized that humans weren't just winning battles. They were rewriting the rules of warfare. Fleet Admiral Ko received reports from across human space. Admiral, the Zephyrian Collective has withdrawn all forces from Federation territory. They're requesting a non-aggression pact. What about the Nautiloids? Their government has collapsed. Different bioships are fighting each other. Some are trying to surrender to us. Dr. An Minji showed Ko the results of her latest analysis. Admiral, our fear campaigns have been more effective than we hoped. Most alien species now believe humans are unstoppable. They're calling us the Reapers and Planet Killers. Let them, Ko replied. Fear will save more lives than mercy. Captain Ryu Jungsu reported from the Centauri system. Admiral, the Velkari fleet commander wants to negotiate personally. Put him through. The crystalline alien that appeared on screen was obviously terrified. Its crystal form was dim and flickering, with stress patterns. Human Admiral, please, we surrender. All Velkari forces surrender. Tell me, Ko said calmly. How many species has the Federation exterminated? I don't know the exact number. 16, Ko interrupted. 16 entire species, wiped out because you decided they weren't worth keeping alive. What makes you think you deserve better treatment? The alien's crystal form grew even dimmer. We were following orders. The Council decided that some species don't deserve to exist. Now we're deciding the same thing about the Council. Ko cut the transmission and turned to his officers. Send orders to all human fleets. We're not taking Federation space. We're taking Federation authority. Any species that wants to survive will surrender to human control. The war became a systematic dismantling of galactic civilization. Human forces didn't just defeat alien fleets. They captured their leaders, seized their communication networks, and broadcast evidence of Federation crimes to every world in known space. Dr. An Minji coordinated massive propaganda campaigns. Admiral, we're broadcasting recordings from the extermination camps, showing how the Federation decided which species to kill. The public reaction has been enormous. What kind of reaction? Rebellion, sir. Dozens of species are refusing to support the Federation anymore. Some are actively helping us. Captain Lee Minho had joined the main fleet and was witnessing the systematic destruction of Federation power. Admiral, I have to ask, what happens after we win? Do we become the new oppressors? Ko looked out at the stars, thinking about the question. Captain, the Federation ruled through fear of the unknown. We're ruling through fear of the known. Every alien in the galaxy now knows exactly what happens when you threaten humanity. But is that better? Ask the 16 dead species, Ko replied. Then ask the species we're protecting from extinction. Reports continued to pour in from across the galaxy. Human forces had taken control of major trade routes, communication networks, and government centers. The Federation Council had fled to a hidden base, but human intelligence was closing in on them. Fleet Admiral Ko gave his final order of the campaign. All human forces, advance to Federation Central Hub. It's time to end this war. As the massive, human fleet moved toward the heart of alien civilization, Ko reflected on how far humanity had come. 50 years ago, they were considered harmless primitives. Now they were feared throughout the galaxy as unstoppable conquerors. The galaxy had awakened humanity's wrath. Now it would learn to live with the consequences. President Moon Jae-hyo stood in what used to be the Federation Council chamber, looking out at representatives from hundreds of alien species. They had come to surrender, to beg for mercy, to accept whatever terms humanity would give them. The Yao, mighty Galactic Federation was dead, and in its place rose the human hegemony. Admiral Lee Seokjin approached the president with the final casualty reports. Madam President, the last Federation holdouts have surrendered. Total human military losses 12,000. Total alien military losses over 2 million. And civilian losses? Minimal, ma'am. Our precision strikes targeted only military and government facilities. Most alien populations are intact. Moon Ji-yo nodded. Humanity had proven its point without becoming genocidal monsters like the Federation. That distinction would matter in the years to come. Ambassador Park Hyun-woo was working with teams of translators to communicate with the assembled alien representatives. Many species had never spoken directly to humans before, always going through Federation intermediaries. President Moon, Park reported, we have formal surrender documents from 47 species. The others are still arguing among themselves about terms. What are they arguing about? Whether complete surrender is better than extinction. Some still think they can negotiate. Moon Ji-hyo walked to the center of the chamber, where a human podium had replaced the Federation's crystal throne. The room fell silent as hundreds of alien eyes focused on her. Representatives of the galaxy, she began, her voice carried by translation systems to every species present. The Galactic Federation is ended. In its place, humanity offers a choice. She paused, letting the words sink in. Submit to human authority and live in peace, or face the consequences of resistance. A Velkari representative flickered with agitation. What kind of authority? Will you exterminate us like the Federation did to others? That depends entirely on your behavior, Moon Ji-hyo replied calmly. The Federation killed species for being different. We will only kill species for being dangerous. Ambassador Park Hyun-woo stepped forward with a large document. The Articles of Galactic Surrender, he announced. Every species will maintain their homeworlds, their cultures, and their governments. But all interstellar policy will be decided by humanity. What about trade? Asked a nautiloid bioship, its living hull pulsing with nervous energy. Trade will continue under human supervision, Admiral Lee Seokjin answered. In fact, trade will be safer and more profitable than it ever was under Federation control. Why should we believe you? Demanded a Zephyrian energy being. President Moon Ji-yo smiled coldly. Because you have no choice. But also because we've already proven our word. How many of your civilian populations have we harmed? How many of your homeworlds have we destroyed unnecessarily? The aliens looked around at each other. It was true. Humanity had shown restraint even in total victory. They could have wiped out entire species but had chosen not to. Captain Lee Min-ho was present as an observer, watching the birth of a new galactic order. Dr. Park Na-young stood beside him, still amazed by everything that had happened. Doctor, what do you think? Min-ho asked quietly. Are we the good guys or the bad guys in this story? I think we're the survivors, she replied. And sometimes that's the most important thing to be. Admiral Lee Seokjin presented the terms of surrender to the assembled representatives. Article 1. All species submit to human authority in matters of interstellar policy, military affairs, and justice. Article 2. No species may develop weapons capable of planetary destruction without human approval. Article 3. All evidence of the Federation's extermination programs will be preserved and taught to future generations. Article 4. Any species that attempts genocide will be eliminated completely. The last article caused a stir among the alien representatives. Eliminated completely? Asked a crystalline Velkari. You mean extinct? We mean exactly that, President Moon Ji-hyo confirmed. The galaxy will never again see the systematic murder of entire species. We will make sure of that. Ambassador Park Hyun-woo continued reading the articles. Article 5. Human colonists will be placed in key positions throughout galactic space to monitor compliance with these terms. Article 6. All species must contribute to the construction of memorial worlds for the victims of Federation genocide. Article 7. Any technology developed by any species must be shared with human authorities for safety evaluation. As the terms were read, Captain Minho realized that humanity wasn't just ending the war. They were reshaping galactic civilization to prevent future genocides. "What about species that refuse these terms?" asked a nautiloid. "They will serve as examples to others," Admiral Lee Seokjin replied matter-of-factly. The signing ceremony took place over 3 days. Species after species approached the human podium to formally surrender and accept the new galactic order. Some signed eagerly, grateful to have survived humanity's wrath. Others signed reluctantly, knowing they had no choice. President Moon Jae-hyo watched each signature with satisfaction. "Admiral Lee, how are our monitoring systems performing?" "Perfectly, Madam President. We have human observers on every major world, and our stealth fleets can reach any system within days." "And the memorial projects?" "Construction has begun on all 16 memorial worlds. Each one will preserve the history and culture of a species murdered by the Federation." Dr. Park Na-young was working with alien scientists to establish new research protocols. "President Moon, many species are offering to share their technologies freely. They want to prove their cooperation." "Accept all offers," Moon Jae-hyo decided. "But remember, we're not stealing their knowledge. We're ensuring it's used responsibly." Ambassador Park Hyun-woo approached with a special report. "Madam President, we've discovered something important. The Federation kept detailed records of their genocide program. Over the past 1,000 years, they eliminated 43 species." 43? Moon Jae-hyo felt a chill. "We only knew about 16. The others were killed so thoroughly that the galaxy forgot they ever existed. No memorials, no records, nothing. Then we'll build memorials for them too. Every species the Federation destroyed will be remembered." As the months passed, the new galactic order began to take shape. Human administrators worked with alien governments to establish fair trade agreements. Human peacekeepers stopped conflicts before they could escalate to genocide. Human scientists shared technologies that improved life for countless species. But always, the threat remained. Every alien in the galaxy knew that humanity could destroy worlds, could appear anywhere without warning, could turn their own technology against them. The fear of human wrath kept the peace. Captain Lee Minho was now serving as a human observer on a former Federation world. The local population treated him with nervous respect, always careful not to offend. "Captain," Dr. Park Na-young said during one of their regular calls, "do you think the galaxy is better now?" Minho looked out at the alien city below his office. No more extermination camps, no more evolutionary assessments, no more species disappearing in the night. "I think it's safer, Doctor. Whether that makes it better depends on your perspective." President Moon Jae-hyo's final address to the galaxy was broadcast to every world, every ship, every station. "Citizens of all species," she began, "humanity did not seek to rule the galaxy. We sought only to survive. But the galaxy forced our hand. When you threaten one human, you threaten all humanity. When you commit genocide, you face human justice. We offer peace, prosperity, and protection to all species that live in harmony. But we also promise swift and total destruction to any who would repeat the Federation's crimes. The galaxy has learned to tremble before human wrath. Now let it learn to live in human peace." 10 years later, the galaxy was indeed more peaceful than it had been in millennia. Trade flourished under human protection. Scientific cooperation advanced faster than ever before. War between species became almost unthinkable. But in hidden bases throughout space, human fleets maintained their eternal vigil. Admiral Lee Seokjin, now elderly but still sharp, watched over the monitoring networks that kept the peace. "Admiral," a young officer asked, "do you think any species will ever challenge us again?" Lee Seokjin looked at the displays showing peaceful alien worlds, thriving trade routes, and memorial planets where the dead were honored. "Lieutenant, they would have to be very stupid or very desperate. And if they are, they'll learn the same lesson the Federation learned." "What lesson is that, sir?" "That humanity's wrath, once awakened, reshapes galaxies. The stars themselves seemed to whisper the warning that every alien child learned in school. Fear the day you make an enemy of Earth, for on that day you will learn what it truly means to tremble.